definition of the rivalry, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the competition for the same objective of a superiority in the same field. Superiority in the same field. That is the sort of Oxford Dictionary definition of the rivalry. We'll go to the next. Then profession. Profession, the definition in the Oxford Dictionary is a paid occupation, especially one that involves prolonged training and a formal qualification. Sometimes I have seen at our big organizations of professional associations, we are trying to define the word profession several ways, depending on one's own wish. But this is what the Oxford Dictionary says. A profession is a paid occupation, especially one that involves prolonged training and a formal qualification.
I welcome all participants and thankful who are here in this program. This is my second visit to Sri Lanka. First, I was with you in your fifth convention and 10th Apex Body meet held here from 28th to 31st July 2011. I was delegate in Indian team at that time. Now it is my second time when I am between you. Good luck for me that now I am in between the engineers of Sri Lanka who came here from different part of the country in large number. Before July 2011 and after that we gathered many times for SDF meeting which were held in 2008 at Delhi, India, 2010 at Dhaka, Bangladesh, September 2013 in Chandigarh, India last year, April 2011 again in Dhaka, Bangladesh, in which I participated.
But I would like to mention that after 44 years in the public service, in the public sector, this is my first annual session at the first public ceremony I am participating when I am after having left or retired from public service. So I felt that I'm a little bit free to talk. But after reading this morning's paper, I thought not just being free, but I should be very bold to talk.
I also need to stress the fact that IISL can be proud of its achievements during the last over 3.5 decades. I remember the IISL became a founder member of the SARC Diploma Engineers Forum in 1998. I also recollect the IISL succeeded in obtaining delegated authority status from City and Guilds of London Institute for registration and assessment of its members and associate members, respectively, for the licenseship and graduateship awards. IISL has also succeeded in holding the most customer-focused INCO industrial exhibition and trade fair in the country for the 12th year in succession in 2014. You have been innovative in your approach, appropriate in your technology applications, and far-sighted in your direction to do better than the best.
I wish to express my gratitude to the members of the institution for the trust and honor placed upon me by electing me to be the president of the institution for the second consecutive year. We are very grateful to Honorable Minister Partli Champika Ranamaka, Chief Guest, Honorable Senior Minister P. Dayaratna, Patron, and Professor Dayantha Jayasekara, all eminent engineers, for gracing this occasion, and your presence is undoubtedly very appropriate for 36th annual session of the institution, which would add glamour to this important event.
It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here at the inauguration of the 36th annual session of the Institution of Incorporated Engineers, Sri Lanka. Incidentally, it is for the second time within the span of a few weeks that I am standing amidst you at an important event organized by the Institution of Incorporated Engineers. Having been invited as the chief guest at the inauguration of your annual exhibition and trade fair only late last month. I can also recall being invited for INCO in 2013 last year. I must say that it is the deep sense of appreciation that I have been observing the important contribution that the Institution of Incorporated Engineers, as a very important segment of the engineering fraternity of this country, has been making over the years towards furtherance of the objects of the broad engineering fraternity of this country. in serving the nation, and for the same reason, it is with sense of enthusiasm that I have obliged with the invitation each time I received them. Holding the annual sessions of 36 consecutive years would be a highly remarkable milestone for any professional institution. IISL marks this milestone today. I hope it is pertinent to share with you on this occasion some of my views about the outcomes that should ideally be expected of the papers, presentation, and deliberations that would make up the annual sessions of a professional association such as this, particularly at the current pace of development of our country. The tradition of research and development in this country over the years has been evolving in the lines of research for the sake of research, with the ultimate objective of publishing a paper, more than often than not with little regard to the possibility of translating such research outcomes into any tangible socio-economic benefits. There has been an ongoing debate in this country for quite some time now about research finding and their socio-economic benefits. There are two opposing lines of criticism. The first, coming from scientists and engineers, is that the amount of funds spent on research and development by the government and the private sector is a meager amount. Here in Sri Lanka, it is just 0.012% of the GDP, compared to South Korea, it's about 4% of the GDP. The opposing line of harsh criticism usually coming from economists is that the funds allocated and the concessions granted to the public as well as the private sector for research and development has failed to produce any productive results impacting economy of the society. As far as our GDP is concerned, it is 1.5% of the of the GDP comprises of innovation type of economy. Given the current context of development of our country, clearly the emphasis on research and innovation should be predominantly on applied research and on development research. The amount of resources, both human and capital, that a country which is similarly circumstances as ours can afford for fundamental research is obviously minimal. Let us shed some light on our true development challenges today as a nation. Sri Lanka's economy entered into a middle income territory in 1998. In today's norms, the middle income range is from $1,090 to 12,665. Sri Lanka's official state economic institution maintains that the country is steadily progressing from status of low middle income country towards the next higher income bracket of $4,000 to 8,000. They also forecast consistent and sustained growth rate in excess of 8% during the period 2015 to 2018. However, the International Monetary Institution, especially the IMF, maintained that going by the current position of practice of production, the maximum achievable growth rate would be between 6.5 to 6.7. They say that the factors of production have got contained due to the typical constraint exerted in the middle income country striving to increase income. Those typical constraints are the increase in cost of labor, increased imports for consumption, and increased cost of fuel and electricity in the absence of comprehensive energy policy and energy pricing. In the meantime, striving for mere increase of per capita GDP in the name of development could well lead to a social unrest and destabilization, and eventual collapse of social capital and trust, while on the environmental front also bringing about collapse of ecological systems due to degradation of water, soil, air, and biospheres. The current bubble of economic growth, which is relying on disproportionately large service sector, including a large leisure and recreational sector, is highly volatile. What does this volatility mean? It simply means large the bubble, higher the chances of burst. Interestingly, one of the senior economists in this country symbolically likened it to a soap bubble where what it all takes to burst is a bite by a dengue mosquito. The implication is clear. Put simply, a severe outbreak of dengue epidemic could deal with a decisive and fatal blow to tourism, the industry that we are highly reliant on our growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the only prudent path for sustained economic development in the current context should be through an innovation-driven, knowledge-based economy. An economy where the advanced technology-based component of exports will become substantial as compared to the current dismal figure of approximately 1%. In the meantime, it should be emphasized that the economic development in fact only represents just one out of the three major pillars on which the process of overall national development depends on. Ensuring environmental sustainability and bridging the alarming increase in gap in income distribution constitute the other two pillars of a sustainable and equitable development effort. It is in this perspective that the Ministry of Technology and Research recently introduced National R&D Investment Plan. The draft plan is still open to public consultation and, more importantly, consultation by professional institutions such as your institution. It is my fervent hope that the engineering conference such as the annual sessions of this institution that begins today will become increasingly focused towards addressing this true national need of transforming Sri Lanka's economy into an innovation-driven, knowledge-based economy. I wish all success to our annual sessions and thank the organizers for invitation.